Town Talk. I'm your host, Paula Hersey, and with me today, Director of Finance, Mark Milne, with a updated abatement program that you may be interested in. Mark, welcome back to Town Talk. Really appreciate you being here. This is
Thanks,
some
Mark.
exciting news that we have for our older residents and our veterans. So there's an abatement program that folks can volunteer for the town of Barnstable and work off some of their tax bill. Give us some history of what this abatement is and where we're going with it in the updates.
Sure, thank you. Well, thanks for having me. Back in 2009, we adopted an ordinance that allowed eligible seniors to work off, in exchange for volunteering work for the town of Barnstable, they could work off a portion of their tax bill. And so they could earn up to $750. And then that would get credited against their property tax bill the subsequent year. So with this new ordinance that we're updating, we're increasing that benefit that they can earn from $750 to $1,500, and we're adding in the eligibility for veterans. That was a recent statute passed by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts a couple of years ago that allowed the program to include veterans now. So we're going to adopt that, and so we'll have eligible seniors and veterans be able to have the opportunity to work off a portion of their tax bill.
So let's just back up a little bit. For folks who don't know, how do these ordinances get updated? It's not that we simply rewrite them. This does go through town council. Am I correct on that?
Yes, it does require a town council 2/3 vote. Any change or new ordinance or change to an existing ordinance has to go to the town council and receive a 2/3 vote.
Okay. And when you talk about veterans, we know that our eligible seniors would be 65 and older?
60.
60 and older.
60 and older.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and then our veterans.
You might qualify.
I got a few years. Yeah. And veterans, is there an age limit to veterans?
No age limit to veterans. They just have to be certified as a veteran of one of our armed forces. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the benefit of this to the town to do this? I mean, we know that property taxes fund services and programs here in the town. So what's the benefit to the town to have volunteers to working off a portion of their tax bill?
Well, I think the benefit is that we can receive some meaningful, assistance in helping us get through some tasks that require extra hands from time to time. For example, elections, right? We have, with all the changes in the election laws, with mail-in voting, early voting, there is an opportunity here perhaps to get some extra hands on board to help our town clerk operations deal with all the additional paperwork that they have now.
Right, right. And then we know that our Barnstable Police Department has a wonderful volunteer program already in place. Our Marine and Environmental also has a volunteer program in place. Yep. What are some of the criteria that seniors and veterans should consider before they start to volunteer? Are we going to train them in specific jobs, or should they come kind of ready to go?
Yeah, it's a good question. Really, we're going to be looking for people who can come in and just be ready to go, because the maximum tax abatement that they can earn is $1,500. We have to pay them. We can't pay them any more than a minimum wage, which is $14.25 an hour. So that means about 105 hours is all they need to work to earn the maximum benefit. And so that's 2.5 weeks worth of work. And so we need to have them, we need to identify tasks that they can do and come right in and just hit the ground running. And nothing too complicated, nothing that needs any training, but is meaningful and helpful to the town.
Right. And how do we handle this internally, finding these tasks and these meaningful work? How is this program administrated through the Human Resources Department, perhaps?
Yes. Human Resources has reached out to all department heads, asking them to identify tasks that they need assistance with on a short time period, because again, it doesn't take long to earn the benefits. So, and so they're in the process of collecting those ideas, and they'll vet those to make sure that it's nothing that's physically demanding. We don't want people coming in here and having to work, doing physical labor, and we don't want them replacing work that is already done by our existing workforce. This isn't intended to do that. It's intended to augment and help with, particular tasks that need to get done in a short time period. So they're going to vet all these ideas that are submitted by department heads, and then we'll have that list available, and then Human Resources will be taking the applications in from seniors and veterans. And we're working with the Regional Veterans District's office to help us identify the veterans out there that may be eligible for this program. And we'll work with the Council on Aging and the senior staff, seniors, to try to identify seniors that are eligible for it.
Okay, and another question. We had Director of Assessing Lane Partridge here for an exemption talk about, the residential exemption. Can this work in conjunction with that, or is it one or the other?
It can work in conjunction with that. So if you can earn a exemption, a residential exemption, you can earn a senior exemption, and you can earn this tax work-off exemption as well. So they're all in addition to one another.
Right, and are there some type of criteria when you're looking at this? So again, I come back to assessing, that you have to be a full-time property owner here. Is this open to second homeowners that may not claim in their taxes, that perhaps they claim in Florida but they don't claim here? Are there some rules to this as well for property owners?
Yeah, it's a good question. You have to be domiciled in
Okay.
Barnstable to be eligible for this. So the second homeowners will not be eligible.
Okay.
So it's intended to help those who live here year-round, who really on the lower income
Right.
levels as well, which is another point I wanted to bring up, is the income thresholds are $40,000 for a single person and $50,000 for a married couple.
Okay.
So you have to earn that or less than that. Otherwise, you're not eligible for the program. So it's really meant to help the lower income folks meet their annual property tax bill liabilities, and gives them an opportunity to do that by working 105 hours for the town.
Sure.
It's a pretty good credit.
Right, and you had mentioned that these income thresholds had been risen?
Yes, we initially established this program with 30,000 income threshold for a single taxpayer and 40,000 for a married couple. And that was based on the elderly exemption income thresholds that assessing has to manage. And so we replicated that. But we found that part of the reason why we weren't seeing a lot of participation in the senior tax work-off program, and some of it is due to the ineligibility because those income thresholds were at those levels. And so we increased them both by $10,000 to see if it would help make more seniors eligible, as well as veterans.
Sure. Interesting. I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of interest in this. Can you tell us how people will find this information in the future? I know we're still vetting tasks and things like that, but once we're done with that, how will people find this information and find the application?
Yeah, so eventually the application will be available on the town's website under the Human Resources area of the website. And I think what we're anticipating on doing on an annual basis is sending out communication both to the Council on Aging, to the Regional Veterans District office, asking them to help us identify eligible seniors as well. So if we can get the communication out through HR as well as those two operations, then hopefully we can find enough people. So it's limited to 20 people right now.
Okay.
So if we have more applicants than that, we'll have to do a lottery.
Right.
That's our plan. So,
okay.
And then eventually we find it to be successful and we want to increase the number of participants, we can go back and amend the ordinance again, increasing it from 20 to a higher number.
Interesting. Yeah. And that 20, does that go across all of our departments and divisions?
Yes.
For example, like, would the schools be included in this?
Yes, we could, if there is work that somebody can do within the school department, sure.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Any department in town. So, but the 20 is capped
Right.
town-wide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is a fantastic program. I'm sure that there will be some interest in this. Any question I haven't asked that you want to tell our viewers?
I think you got them all.
Get them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
It's a
pretty good at
program.
this.
Yeah.
I'm Paula Hersey. This is Town Talk, and this is an updated ordinance that you can possibly get an abatement on your property tax if you are 60 and older, meet the income threshold, or a veteran.